Hey guys, my name's Ryan, and I wanted to talk to you about addictions. What are addictions? Hopefully, if you're searching for the topic, you know, you're feeling that there's some hope. Most people looking for addictions treatment or what are addictions, usually there's a motivation behind why you're choosing to look for that. And I wanted to bring some hope to you today. I wanted to bring some scientific what's happening, what's going on, is there hope, what are options, what do you do, how does it work? Because the biggest thing I get as an owner operator of an outpatient treatment facility for counseling services and just different things is how does the whole process work, what's happening, what's going on. So I quickly just wanted to show you our website, introduce you to some of the resources there real quick, and talk about addiction for a second. Now, let's just define addiction real quick. The fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. More and more, science is starting to struggle with what is an addiction? What does it look like? Is it nature? Is it nurture? The Human Genome Project look at trying to map out all of the individual genes or the genetic process or genes of a human and figuring out, what we can and can't find out if there's genetic relationships too. Unfortunately, to my knowledge to date, we have not found a specific gene that is related to a predisposition for addiction. Now, fMRI and different things of that nature, MRIs, EEGs, science has been looking at trying to locate, identify, and predict possible indicators that could lead to addictions. At WPHC, one of the things that we talk about is we look at neurofeedback. Now, Eugene Peniston, back in the 1990s, I believe it was the 90s, don't hold me if my facts aren't right on that specific thing, in good old Texas, worked with veterans that had polysubstance addiction, and it was more of a chronic nature. Now, what he would do is he would hook people up, and they would have an amplifier like this that's connected to an individual right here, and they would basically get the EEG, electroencephalogram from the brain, and they would record it in the amplifier, and you can see the computer screen has different activities going on. Now, he used a program called alpha theta. Now, alpha theta is really important to understand because what you're doing when you have alpha in the posterior areas of the brain, as I'm pointing to with my cursor there, you're going to see that the back of the brain, there's a lot of rumination, there's a lot of busy mind. I constantly ask people, what does it mean to be relaxed? Is relaxation safe? And one of the things, people, their initial response is, well, relaxation just means you're relaxed. Well, yeah, but give me more depth and let's go into a little bit more detail on what is relaxation. And is it safe? Because for so many times, if the back of the mind is creating some rumination, and that rumination is created by feelings of anxiety or fears, and it's more of a negative type, then we're definitely going to have a guarded sense. So eyes open and eyes closed conditions. If your eyes are closed, you don't have control or a sense or a perspective of control about what's going on around you. And that's really important because those that have trauma or fears that are creating some of those ruminations in the back of the brain basically begins to lead to a busy mind. And a busy mind, it can't relax. It doesn't feel safe because we're constantly needing to pay attention to what's going on around us, not within us. Now, theta is that internal, being able to really look inside. And alpha theta takes you from a busy mind to a slower mind. And when you begin to learn to relax, can you get into the higher states of theta? Spiritually speaking, sometimes that's how people feel like they relate to higher powers or God or spiritual opportunities, things of that nature, is through that theta connection brainwave. And that's really important to understand because there's a lot of depth in that. But basically understanding that what Eugene Peniston was doing is he was taking a lot of biofeedback modalities. And let me just show you this real quick. So basically you can look at coherence. Now, average coherence within this measure is talking about are the brain and the heart in sync. So the higher the number, the better. Now you can see the one on the right has a higher coherence. This is one that's been practicing for a while. And you notice the sinusoidal waves look much better. So the peak-to-peak variability, the SDNN rhythms, and things of that nature are smoothing out. So this person is able to slow the mind down, be present, come into a more relaxed state. So this is a very experiential process. So Eugene Peniston had to do a lot of biofeedback in the beginning with people to help teach them how to relax, and it's possible to relax and they can. And for some people this may take 4, 5, 6, 7 sessions to be able to do. For others, they can do that fairly quickly. But for this video, we're just going to simply kind of talk about how you go from there to increasing that theta and getting into a theta type response to where your body feels more relaxed, your mind calms down. Now, you reduce the fears, then that's where the psychotherapy begins to kind of take a form for me in my mind in working with those that have been dealing with addiction. So that really kind of helps. There's a lot of facilities, there's a lot of different entities that are growing in different modalities and forms of treatment. I'm not saying that this is the only way. Eugene Peniston's success rate with his study was amazing. I need to link a research article in the comments, but he was very successful with polysubstance addiction, chronic use, people that have been to treatment facilities and tried to stop numerous times. It's reported that sometimes the results were so astounding that they had to kind of decrease because no one would believe them, they were that high. Upwards around 80%, 90% of those in that study. Now, they did it every single day. That's a big factor, because when you're working at that level every single day, that's more of an inpatient type approach. And so I've seen a lot of inpatient facilities working to incorporate this modality, because if the research presents the strong possibility and hope for change and improvement in physiological, emotional, and psychological changes, that's huge. And so that's going to help people with recovery and all of those things. Now, I also want to bring about, remember, there's also a lot of different services in your local community like AA, Celebrate Recovery, and there's so many online things like Smart Recovery and different opportunities. So, and obviously, I work with people online. We can do training from a distance now, and so COVID has changed a lot of the factors and parameters within treatment. And so if you need help, or maybe you like a consult, I received a phone call the other day for an individual, and looking at, I don't know if I need to go to inpatient or is outpatient right. And so we talked about some of the factors. We set up a consultation, did a brief 30-40 minute conversation, and then determined the modality of treatment. Now, I could do another video on what is that like, so if you guys are interested in some of that, drop comments below. But hopefully this video kind of gives you some interesting approaches and some new ideas and things of that nature. And please, if you've watched this far, go ahead and, I'm going to do what everyone else does, smash that subscribe and that like button and watch another video, guys. So that'll keep me promoting more information for you guys to learn and opportunities. So guys, be blessed. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.